good Friday morning? It's Ben Green and
Matthew and Lucia.
We are headed up to Lake Down Pedro to support Nolan Cox and his father Bryan Cox. If anybody's familiar with the story, they were working on the boat. They put some carpeting in, and in that process, some of the fumes got into the boat. Didn't escape. The gases were ignited and the boat exploded. So the community's coming together to just show our support for Nolan and Bryan. Both of them are making a full recovery, and that's the fun part. But Matthew, who's going to watch Greta?
My grandmother.
Grandmother was up at 3:40 at the front door helping see Matthew off. So stay tuned. We're going to get the full story from Bryan and Nolan, and we are going to film the event and share all that with you. So we'll see you soon. We have a benefit tournament tomorrow for Nolan. This is Nolan Cox. This is his dad, Bryan Cox.
Hello.
They wanted to share their story with us. Unfortunately, they had an accident with their boat, involving their boat, and Nolan was severely injured. Bryan was injured as well. They want to kind of walk us through what was happening that day. So go ahead, Bryan, and walk us through kind of.
Basically, we started out, we were just recarpeting the boat like basically probably everybody does. After 4 or 5 years, it either fades out or it turns around and gets stains, or for whatever reason you're wanting to change it out. So we did the same thing we always do, take acetone paintbrush, painted it on the carpet, takes the glue up, pulls the carpet right up and everything with it. Unbeknownst to us, we turned around and forgot to take one of the lids off the bottom of the boat where the ice chest was. As soon as Nolan got on there, lifted the ice chest up, hit the electric drill to take the lid off, the boat exploded. Threw me about 10 feet, covered the whole garage full of flames, put him inside of flames. Basically the worst possible situation you can have. At that time, Nolan jumped out of the flames, turned around, and I hosed him off. He ripped his clothes off, threw him in the truck, called 911. Started going down there. They meta-flighted him up to UC Davis. At UC Davis, they sent him right over to Shriners for basically like an emergency surgery to take the skin off of the legs from about the halfway down the thigh and from about halfway up the arm, a little past that. The reason why they had to do that was because the acetone burned actually inside the skin, and so it would continue to burn as it was just sitting there, because it just continued to eat through it. One of the big things that we found out later, what the reason was, is basically if you take a firecracker, put it in your hand, it goes off, it burns your hand. If you turn around and close your fist around that firecracker, it blows your hand off. Well, what we had done was the acetone fumes went down. Even though the garage was open, had a fan going, everything was fully ventilated, the fumes go down. It actually went down into the hole, which the drain was about a 6-inch drain in the middle of the hole, which every bass boat has. As soon as it went inside there and Nolan hit the electric drill, it had a spark from the electric drill, which is another thing I never really thought about, ignited the acetone fumes that were inside the hole. By us having it inside the hole, it basically compressed the acetone fumes and made it from just being a flash into a bomb.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing the story with us today. How are you feeling today, Nolan?
A lot better than like before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing pretty good so far.
How long were you in physical rehabilitation?
2-3 weeks almost.
Yeah, he was in Shriners for 16 days. Then every week he had to go back for checkups, and he still actually has to go back in another couple months. Shriners has been probably one of the most amazing places that you can ever imagine. I mean, the hospital was amazing. The support we've got from everybody else has been just beyond belief. I mean, it's been absolutely astounding how many people have, you know, called and supported and done everything else, and it's been pretty humbling. We've actually had 2 or 3 people that I know of that have done their carpets afterwards and talked to me about, you know, what happened. And one of the major mistakes that we made was not pulling the drain plug, which I would have never really thought about, but basically a drain plug is the lowest part of your boat. So with those fumes had nowhere to go. So with them building up with the drain plug in there, you know, it built up to the point where it became a bomb instead of just, if the drain plug's pulled, those fumes just keep going out and there's no big deal. So that was one of the things, if you guys are ever gonna do your boat carpets, first of all, like I said, we had everything ventilated out. That wasn't the issue, but the fact that it goes down and right there where we're doing the carpet, that drain hole, the first place for it to go down is into that drain hole. Make sure if you are going to do your carpet that you pull that drain plug, because that was one of the biggest things that we found out later was basically the major cause of doing it. And I have never even thought about pulling a drain plug when I'm doing carpet in a boat.
Well, I really appreciate you, Bryan, sharing that tip with us, being humble enough to share your experience. I think the hope is that what Bryan had shared with me is that we would just like to get the information out and hopefully avoid somebody across the country who's working on their bass boat. We all spend a lot of time to make sure that our bass boats are up and running at 100%, working on their bass boat, and takes that extra precaution that unfortunately we learned the hard way. Fortunately not the worst way, but certainly the hard way. And we are sharing that experience with you today, especially Bryan and Nolan. So Nolan, I appreciate your help. Yeah, Bryan, I appreciate your help.
All right.
But we got a tournament tomorrow, and I got one more question to ask Nolan. What are you throwing? Because we went out there, we couldn't find anything.
What do we always throw on this lake?
Sinkos.
Sinkos. You got a special color?
Not really.
Right. We're expecting quite a few people to turn out tomorrow, and we're going to go and put in the video all the sponsors that have come together in the fishing community to support Nolan. We're really looking forward to an awesome day out there tomorrow at Don Pedro. So stick around, watch the rest of the video, and hopefully we come in with some big bags and Nolan catches the biggest fish of the tournament tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks again, Nolan. I appreciate it. Thanks,
All
Bryan.
right, thanks, man.
All right.
These are the shorts that Nolan was wearing when the accident happened. As you can see, the flames basically got up almost to the middle of the thigh, and you can see where the fire went right basically through it, melted everything. A lot of the material was melted into his leg.
Yeah.
Explain it. Go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, it's because of the fire, like peeled off part of the skin, so like it's a different pigment, and it's like basically like brand new skin, and it's like that's why it's a different color.
Sometimes when we talk about claims, the right people don't get very much credit. Indeed, most likely they don't get any credit at all. We have an adjuster named Stacy that we work with, and we just wanted to kind of talk about Stacy's experience in handling the Cox family claim.
Yeah, one thing, like Stacy was amazing. I mean, with everything that we went through, the last thing you want to worry about, you know, I was basically had him in the hospital, didn't know what was going on, didn't know the whole thing that was going on. You know, the first thing whenever I talked to Stacy wasn't about the claim. It was like, how's Nolan doing? You know, that's one of the things that's huge that you never hear about with different insurance companies or basically any company. I mean, for her to call me up and say, you know what, the main thing is, how's he doing? How's Nolan doing? And, you know, after everything else was settled, then to talk about the claim and just handle it in the most professional way possible was astounding. I mean, I can't give Stacy enough credit. She was amazing to deal with. I can't say anything more.
So I really appreciate it, Stacy, for all your help, and you've helped out a lot of anglers, especially customers of Ben Green Insurance Agency. We just wanted to throw you in there and give you credit where credit's due. So thanks again,
Yeah.
Nolan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Bryan.
Thank you. And thank you, Stacy.
Good morning. It's tournament day. What's up, Matthew?
Not much.
We up for the challenge?
Heck yeah.
What are we gonna do all day?
Catch fish.
I like Matthew's optimism. We just finished up at Lake Don Pedro, Matthew's first tournament, big water. We got to run fast, wide open throttle for about maybe 10 miles. So without further ado, Matthew, tell us about your first tournament.
I thought this tournament was a very, very cool experience. Not only was it for a good cause, but it really showed me the amount of skill level I have against 100 different anglers, and the fact that this many people came out and supported Nolan through a devastating time in his life, a really, really bad life-changing experience. And this just goes to show that just because you tournament fish against everyone doesn't mean you're not a part of a family. And in the fishing community, everyone's a family. And I thought that was really, really, really amazing.
Awesome, so there you have it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna weigh in right now. We got 3 fish for just shy about 8 pounds, 9 pounds. We did pretty good. It's our first time ever being out on the water here at Lake Don Pedro, and we had basically about 3 hours of practice yesterday with all the other responsibilities we had to take care of. So a great day, and that's all I got.
I know it's hot and everything. You guys want to get out of here, but the support you guys have given us has been absolutely unbelievable. You know, it's humbling to sit there and see, you know, just how many people have come. I mean, Ben Green came all the way from LA. I mean, everyone's come from all over the place, and you know, I've seen some people I actually haven't seen in a very long time, like Joe. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, it's amazing, you know, that the whole country took the same kind of attitude that the bass fishermen have here, you would have no division. You'd have no nothing. I mean, everyone here has always supported everybody, and it's absolutely astounding the kind of support that we've gotten through this whole thing, and you know, I really appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. Your turn, little man.
You guys so much for your support.
Yeah, do some pull-ups.
You guys have done a lot for us, and I'd like to say thank you. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and your support has been amazing. It's like, yeah.
Say thank you.
Thank you guys.